This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Kelly, before we get into this episode, I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah?
Don't you find it unfair that women have to get all dolled up and do all of this prep work for dates while men have to do the bare minimum?
Yeah, women always get the short end of the stick. I'm over here tweezing my eyebrows, shaving my armpits, and you know.
Yep. Well, I have some news for you. Our sponsor for this episode is a company called Manscaped.
What?
Yes. For Christmas, they're having a special offer. So jingle balls to the walls, fellas. Listen up.
Did you know that untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past?
It's time to gear up and get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season. I'm talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0.
We've all heard those horror stories about the special haircuts.
That's why this revolutionary company, Manscaped, has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. It's also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower.
The Lawnmower 2.0 comes inside their Perfect Package 2.0, which makes for the perfect gift this holiday season. It's literally everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there.
And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your balls. That's just nasty.
Ew! The Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant, and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And yes, guys, your balls stink.
Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, they also have what's called their Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking.
Let me tell you something. These products smell good. The manly scent is attractive, and it'll help you set the mood, if you know what I mean.
The Perfect Package will also come with a pair of Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day. It's time to upgrade those overused pair of boxers to Manscaped's high-performance anti-chafing boxers.
'Tis the season to manscape, so get yourself, your dad, your brother, your friends, the best gift of all, the Manscaped Perfect Package 2.0.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGHEADS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code BIGHEADS. Clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year.
Good grief. Welcome to the Fa La 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 Faves of Our Lives. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Brittany.
Today we have a spectacular, super colossal episode for you. Join us as we learn the true meaning of Christmas.
Today we're talking about A Charlie Brown Christmas. It premiered December 9th, 1965. Directed by Bill Melendez and written by Charles Schultz. This TV special starred Peter Robbins as Charlie Brown, Christopher Shea as Linus Van Pelt, Tracy Stratford as Lucy Van Pelt, Kathy Steinberg as Sally Brown, and Bill Melendez as Snoopy. And the plot of the special is, depressed at the commercialism he sees around him, Charlie Brown tries to find a deeper meaning to Christmas. We're gonna go through the plot of this, I'm sure, really quick. The runtime of this is like 23 minutes without commercials. We're gonna kind of dive into the most memorable parts of this special because everyone has their favorite part. We'll just see how it goes. We're winging it.
Yeah, me and Brittany were talking about this yesterday while we were watching it, and I discovered that I am definitely a Charlie Brown, and I am the Charlie Browniest Charlie Brown.
Of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest.
I mean, I haven't watched this in a super long time. I know that your son is obsessed with Charlie Brown, so you've probably seen it a lot more times.
A lot.
But I haven't seen this in a long time, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty deep, and I am Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I mean, for an animated special directed at kids, it is really deep. And I like that. I mean, even back then, the adults could watch it and still understand what was being said.
Yeah.
I also think that it's funny that this special talks specifically about commercialism of Christmas and mass-produced things and all of that, and you and I just had a discussion about how we're doing a simple Christmas this year.
Some families are.
Well, that's true. I think that we do sometimes need to get back to that. You know, don't go out and spend your money on something that, you know, someone doesn't even necessarily need. Do something simple for each other and just enjoy being in the moment and spending time with one another.
Right. Because, let's be real, everybody that has kids knows it doesn't matter how much space you have, your kids have way too many freaking toys.
Yep.
And they take up so much space, and you just end up throwing them away, donating them, or selling them in a yard sale.
Right. Yeah, so this year we've decided that, I mean, obviously we're going to get him a couple of things, but I think that part of the problem is Reed got so much stuff when he was younger that was geared more towards the age that he is now. So he's just now getting into those toys. So instead of buying him a bunch of stuff, like, it just makes sense to kind of take that time that I could spend shopping for him to spend time watching, you know, specials like A Charlie Brown Christmas that he enjoys watching and baking cookies and start those traditions.
Yeah, I was gonna say baking cookies and decorating them and all that fun stuff.
So yeah, we're gonna dive in. This special starts with Charlie Brown having a discussion with Linus about how he thinks something is wrong with him. He just doesn't feel excited for Christmas. All of the other kids, you know, we see them at the very beginning. They're all ice skating and having fun with one another. Snoopy kind of throws Linus into a snowbank. But otherwise, having a good time. Linus just kind of tells him, there's nothing wrong with you, it's just who you are. You're the Charlie Browniest.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this is something that Lucy said because, I mean, we talked about this in one of the other Christmas episodes that we recorded, but Lucy is a bully.
Yeah.
And she is my son's favorite. I don't get it.
That's funny. Which one is the psychiatrist?
Lucy.
Lucy?
Yep.
Okay. Well, she's not really a bully when she's being a psychiatrist.
No, not so much, but she's a bully in most of the other Peanut specials.
I like how, I know this show is really, really old, and it really is not in present time, but it's very topical.
Right.
Of modern times, because she says, you know, admitting that you have a problem means that you're not too far gone, basically, when he's saying, like, I need help. And I know this is a kid's show, but that is just such a good message for everyone.
It is, and of course Lucy is the most mature out of all of them, and maybe that's why she's kind of a bully, because she feels like they're all kind of behind, although her brother is pretty smart. She also has the conversation with Charlie Brown about how she understands why he's depressed, because, like, at Christmas time she's always let down. She never gets what she wants. She always gets stupid things, like a pogo stick or a bicycle, and he says, well, what do you want? And she said, real estate.
That's hilarious.
But yes, they have this conversation as the psychiatrist. He pays a nickel, and she gives him advice. I love all of the different phobias that she goes through. She knows them all.
Yeah, the one that is a fear of everything, I think that's funny how he says, oh, that's it. That's me.
But she does help him out because she says what you need is involvement. If you are feeling left out and just feeling sad about the whole Christmas season, maybe you need to be involved. And so she appoints him as director of the Christmas pageant. And he's really excited about it. He's ready to get involved, goes to the Christmas pageant. He's giving out directions. Nobody's listening to him. You just see them dancing around. It takes Lucy getting their attention to kind of draw them all back in. He starts explaining everything about, well, when I say stage left, this is what it means. And when I say action, this is what it means. Everyone is just kind of bored, and I get it. They're kids. I used to be in the church programs, and you hated it as a kid because you just wanted to get up there and you wanted to sing your songs and have fun. And then you had someone telling you, well, you have to wait for this, this, and this.
Yeah, waiting is the worst.
It really is. Anyway, Lucy jumps in and she tries to help Charlie Brown by getting everybody's attention. She says, you know, you gotta have discipline. You gotta have respect for your director. This is where Snoopy licks Lucy. She freaks out because she's got dog germs. Snoopy acts disgusted that he even thought about kissing her. This is my son's favorite part of this special. I don't know what it is about the sound that Snoopy makes, but he cracks up every time. So Lucy tells Charlie Brown she thinks what might help is if he goes out and he gets a Christmas tree for the pageant. She tells him to go find one of those aluminum trees, like pink ones, shiny. What do you know what she is talking about when she says aluminum trees?
No.
I don't really know either. Like, I know that they had the ones that, like, look like metal or whatever, but they were just artificial trees that were silver or whatever. When they go to the Christmas tree lot, Linus, like, knocks on one. Like, it's just a cone of aluminum.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't either. I do like the line when they find the Christmas tree that Charlie Brown finally takes, and Linus says, I didn't know they even made wooden ones anymore.
Like actual trees?
Yeah. That's what he's talking about. But yes, Charlie Brown finds the iconic Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's just really a branch. He takes it and he thinks we can make it beautiful and it will get everybody in the Christmas spirit. This poor boy just wants to feel this Christmas spirit himself, and he's doing everything that he can. He takes the Christmas tree back to the pageant and they all mock him for it. I mean, they even say, what a stupid tree. He gets upset and he makes the comment, what is all of this even about? Can anybody tell me what the true meaning of Christmas is? And Linus says, I can tell you, Charlie Brown. I know what the true meaning of Christmas is. And he goes to the stage and the spotlight shines down. And he says a verse from the book of Luke in the Bible. And we'll get to this later, but this is something that was new. That had never been done before. They didn't think that it was going to take, and it ended up being one of the most iconic pieces of film in terms of Christmas time. I mean, people love this. A lot of people think that this is the best part of the special. And to think that it was a possibility that they weren't even going to do it, that just kind of shocks me. So Charlie Brown, feeling a little more spiritual, takes his Christmas tree and he decides that he's going to go home with his Christmas tree and have a good Christmas Eve. He is replaying what Linus said in his head, and he comes to Snoopy's doghouse. Of course, Snoopy entered his doghouse in a Christmas lights display contest, and he won first prize. Charlie Brown just kind of sighs when he sees it, but he takes one of the bulbs and he puts it on the Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree just falls over. And he says, oh great, I killed it. And he's so sad and just walks away.
I love that Christmas tree.
I do too. Reed has one for his room, like a little artificial one. So Linus walks up with the group of kids. They're trying to find him to kind of cheer him up. And he finds the tree sagging there. And he said, you know, it really isn't such a bad little tree. And he takes his blanket and wraps it around, which stands the tree up. It gives it some support. The kids take all of the decorations off of Snoopy's house, and this tree looks beautiful by the time they're done with it. It's like when you get the artificial trees and they look horrible and then you have to like fill them out and spread the limbs or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that worked with this tree.
We have an artificial tree and it's actually it looks really nice once you get it put together.
We have one too. This is probably going to be the last year we can use it because it's really old. We like to kind of keep things traditional, and this tree has been in the family, but it's on its last leg. My issue is that this tree, it's what we call an umbrella tree. The center of it is hollow. It has like rings that keep it the shape of a Christmas tree, but there's no limbs in the middle of it. And I need another tree like that because my cats can't climb it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, if it was because of the cats.
Yeah, but I'm sure they still make them, but I don't know what they're called, so I can't even search for it to try to find one. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Charlie Brown hears them singing A Christmas Carol, and he comes running back, and he sees the tree. He's so excited. I like this animation a lot, because he, like, bends down and looks at the tree. He doesn't even say anything, but you can see the excitement. His back is even to the quote-unquote camera. And all of the kids just yell, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown, and they all start singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And that's the end of the movie. It's so simple. It's 23 minutes long, but it packs a punch.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, it basically says everything I've been trying to say to everyone for years.
Right. Yeah, it's just incredible that, I mean, it just goes to show you don't need a high budget. I mean, this is a comic strip writer that wrote this, and it was perfection. I'm trying to think of what my favorite part is. I probably like the part where they're out by the fence when they're throwing snowballs at the cans. And
oh my God.
Lucy says that she can't eat December snowflakes. She has to wait until January. I think as Linus says, tastes ripe to me.
I loved the sound effects of the snowballs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I really do like Bill Melendez as Snoopy. Just the sound effects that he makes cracks me up. Mm-hmm. And when they did the new Peanuts film, I can't remember what year that came out, but like the computer animated one. What I loved about that was Bill Melendez always voiced Snoopy in Woodstock, and he passed away before this movie was made. But they went back and they took all of the tracks from the old specials and TV series and everything, so he was still credited as Snoopy in Woodstock because they didn't want to have anybody else play that part.
That's cute.
So if you have a child who watches the Peanuts all the time, like all of the specials and everything, when you are watching that movie, you can pinpoint what Snoopy sounds came from what special.
Hi, everybody. I'm RJ Metzger.
And I'm Rachel Metzger.
And we're the Skeptical Skeptics.
Each week we talk about all the crazy things in the world, ranging from the paranormal to Bigfoot to UFOs.
And we look at it from the perspective of the believer, the skeptic, and everything in between.
So come check us out on the MSC Podcast Network.
Or go to skepticalskeptics.com and follow us at SkepSkepPod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
So yeah, we're gonna go into the random facts. I got these from IMDb. I say it that way because Kelly does not like it when I say Internet Movie Database.
I don't?
No, I said that one day at work and you laughed hysterically at me.
Oh. I feel like sometimes I'm more than one person, because sometimes things don't bother me and other times they do. But maybe everyone's like that. I don't know. There's no way to know.
This special broke many of the rules prevalent for animated holiday specials during the 1960s. It didn't make use of a laugh track, which I didn't think about this until I read this. Like the Flintstones and the Jetsons and all of those have a laugh track, like I Love Lucy does.
That's funny.
Real children were used for the character voices instead of adult actors imitating children's voices. And biblical references were used to illustrate the true meaning of Christmas. Kathy Steinberg, who did the voice of Sally Brown, had not yet learned to read at the time of production, so she had to be fed her lines, often a word or syllable at a time, which explains the rather choppy delivery of the line, "All I want is what I have coming to me. All I want is my fair share."
Yeah, I thought there was like a glitch when I watched that.
Yeah, it's just because, when she was delivering the line, they were telling it to her, so she had to pause. That's cute, though.
Yeah, it is.
When viewing the rough cut of the show, both Bill Melendez and Lee Mendelson were convinced that they had a flop on their hands. After it premiered, they were happily surprised and shocked at the high ratings and excellent reviews that the show received. Today, the show remains the second longest-running Christmas special on U.S. network television. Do you know what the first one is?
Rudolph.
Yep. It premiered in 1964, 1 year earlier.
I like that one a lot.
When they first saw the show, CBS executives were horrified at the idea of an animated Christmas special with such a blatant message. They also strongly objected to the fact that the show had no canned laughter. In addition, they greeted Vince Guaraldi's jazz score as an intrusion in the special that audiences would never accept. However, when CBS learned to their astonishment of the special's spectacular ratings earned on its initial broadcast and the glowing reviews for it, the network promptly contracted the producers for more specials. I'd be like, no thanks, I'm taking my business to NBC. Just before her remarks about Christmas being a big commercial racket, Lucy refers to Charlie Brown simply as Charlie. This is the only time she does this in any of the TV specials. Every other time, it's Charlie Brown. A lot of these next ones that I'm getting into I find really ironic because, like, the entire special is about, commercialism and how it just sickens Charlie Brown. And there's so much commercialism around this special. It just cracks me up. The original broadcast included some brief animated sections, which included the logo of Coca-Cola, the show's original sponsor. These have been edited out of subsequent broadcasts and the video release. Right after the opening title, Linus crashed into a sign advertising Coca-Cola after being tossed by Snoopy. Look at the current versions, and you'll notice that we never see where Linus lands. The closing carol originally included the complete verse instead of fading out, with a final on-screen Merry Christmas from your local bottler of Coca-Cola right after the United Feature Syndicate credit at the end. That made so much sense to me because it always bothered me that they never finished the line of the song. Like, it fades out in the middle of Hark the Herald Angels Sing. I was always like, why don't they just finish it?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to pay rights to the song.
Well, it turns out that it was just because they didn't want to have the Coca-Cola ad in the special anymore.
Well, it makes sense because that's commercialism.
Right. Production ended 10 days before it premiered. That's cutting it close.
Yeah, it is. That's what I would do.
Yeah. This one kind of bothered me a little bit. None of the children who voiced the characters received credit at the end.
What?
It only shows,
That's dumb.
producers and writers, yeah. The version of the special broadcast on CBS TV from the late 60s until 1997 and older video releases are edited. They leave out a scene where the gang throws snowballs at a can on the fence. This caused a false rumor to spread that the scene was cut due to the can being a Coca-Cola can. In reality, it was actually cut to squeeze in more commercial time. The Paramount and Warner video releases are complete and unedited. So we saw that because we own the unedited.
Mm-hmm.
Over the decades, with American TV networks making more broadcast time for commercials, this special was increasingly cut for time until there was a storm of protest from fans. When the special was acquired by the ABC TV network, a compromise was reached to both answer those complaints and to take advantage of the opportunity to sell more advertising time for a reliably high-rated annual rerun. This consisted of broadcasting an uncut version of the special in an hour time slot and using the remaining time after the special to run a companion piece, Charlie Brown's Christmas Tales, 2002. So see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the special talks about the commercialism of Christmas, and then the TV networks are like, okay, we'll make another one so we can sell more ad time.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up.
No. Not long after the animation was finished, Tracy Stratford's voice broke, which is why she never voiced Lucy in any other Peanuts special. During his famed speech, Linus, who is well known to be dependent on his security blanket, actually lets go of it when he recites these words, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy," which is from Luke 2:10. I never realized that, but I went back and watched it, and I just think that that is the coolest thing.
That is cool.
Because, he has it for security reasons, and when he says the line, "Fear not," he drops it.
Yeah, that's really good.
But he picks it right back up at the end.
Yeah, but he gives it to the tree.
That's true, he does. So we have some social media comments for you. I just want to start off by apologizing because my mom decided to give her opinion while drinking.
But it's really good.
I mean, it is, but she gets very opinionated when she has a few.
Well, me and your mom have some things in common.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany's mom says, "Oh my god, I'm watching this show during your podcast. The most single thing is after the speech. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. People need to get that goodwill to men. We need to be good to each other also, not just during the holidays. I know your podcast is supposed to be funny, but damn, people, if Charlie Brown and Linus get it, why can't we? Okay, on a funny note, you have all these fucked up little kids in Charlie Brown land. Linus with his obsession with blanket, the kid that won't bathe, Slut Peppermint Patty, Ditzy Blonde Charlie's sister. Oh my god, Dee Dee, you're cracking me up. I could go on, but these kids get it. So I'm sure we can teach these kids today the right message for every day to live their life, not just at Christmas.
That is true.
Yes. Elizabeth Hall says, my favorite part is when Snoopy licks Lucy, but I also really relate to Charlie Brown picking that ugly tree. I have a bad habit of getting attached to things I think are sad, like the last stuffed animal on a shelf. It must feel so lonely and inadequate. I feel that way too about things sometimes. Also, I was gonna say that my dog Jack is kind of like Snoopy because he knows that I hate to be licked, but he will run up and lick me and then run away.
Yeah. So, some of my favorite lines in this come from Lucy. And yes, Lucy is a bully. For one thing, in The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown gets an invitation to the Halloween party or whatever, and she tells him, Charlie Brown, if you got an invitation, it was a mistake. There were two lists, a list of people to invite and a list of people not to invite. You got put on the wrong list.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's mean, but also funny. We also have a Twitter comment from, I used to watch this.
I like
There's
that you added I know,
well,
I like
there's
that you
a
added
question mark. Anyway, they said, probably that Snoopy's Christmas decorations were way better than anything I've ever done at my house, lol. Which I can relate to that because, like, we do a tree and everything, but the outside is pretty minimal.
Yeah, we're like Clark Griswold.
It's definitely not, it's not the Griswolds over here.
I really like Lucy's line also to her brother when he says he's not memorizing his lines. And he says, give me one good reason why I should memorize these lines. And she says, I'll give you 5 good reasons. And she counts down on her fingers to make a fist.
I liked that part too. That was so funny.
He says, those are good reasons.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really good lines and, like, just small little funny lines in this special. So I like that they did keep the humor. Of course, Snoopy is incredible. He's really everyone's favorite in all of these. It cracks me up because really he doesn't have lines. He just makes noises. It's like the chicken in Moana.
Oh my gosh. Hey.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Alright guys, well that's all that we have for you. Have a very Merry Christmas. This episode is actually airing on Christmas, so if you're listening to it...
That's so special.
Yes, kudos to you for taking the time out of your Christmas festivities to hear our lovely voices.
But really, they're probably just trying to escape their family.
Yeah, and guess what? We relate to that.
So, even though Christmas is not about commercialism, and we really aren't either, but we do have now a Ko-Fi, or coffee, whatever you want to call it. So, if you guys want to buy us a peppermint stick latte, you can get on there. Our username is @thefaves of our L1.
That's also our Twitter handle and our Facebook handle, so you can find us on there too. We're telling you this because this is our last official episode. We are going to do a segue episode into next season, which will be favorite movies, but, we did our TV show season. This is rounding out season 1.
I can't believe we did it.
We did it, you guys, and we're gonna do it again next season, so please stick with us. Keep giving us your opinions because we are really excited. The other exciting news is this podcast has been a bi-weekly podcast because we were just starting out, kind of getting our footing a little bit. And now that we've become more confident and more organized with it, next season, it's going to be weekly.
Woohoo! And because some of our schedules have changed.
That's true, too. That is helpful. Yes, we will be putting all of that out on social media so you know when to look for it. Before the episodes actually start coming out, you're still going to continue to see things put out there about, certain movies and giving us your opinions because we're going to try to bank some episodes, record early. That way we have time to edit and get those out to you on time. So stay tuned for that as well. But I cannot stress enough, thank you guys so much for coming back every episode and listening. We're very, very grateful.
I feel like PBS. This would not be possible without listeners like you.
That's true. All right, guys. Well, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.